Ministry of Romy. The Ombudsman is extremely concerned about the capacity within the ministry to adequately serve the public, seeing that it was already difficult to respond adequately to requests of the public and investigations of the Ombudsman. Now, with a lack of department heads and some department heads fulfilling their own duties and being acting head of others, the situation has worsened. In the last presentation to Parliament, I expressed caution regarding the deficiencies of this ministry. And as it turns out, Vromi had the most complaints for 2019 with 20 complaints. Vromi has therefore taken over the notorious position of having the most complaints and non-response held by the Ministry of Justice since the inception of our institution. Most complaints were against the Departments of Inspection, Domain, and Permits. The Ministry of Romy is a dynamic organization within our society with the ability to generate revenue. Despite the investments made over the years to improve the ministry in terms of hiring and training of personnel, purchasing of materials, equipment, ICT, vehicles, the ministry's service to the public has declined in the last several years. Backlogs have returned. The lack of proper planning, infrastructure management, scheduled public works, roadside and drainage cleaning, garbage collection, road maintenance, proper sewage, enforcement of policies and laws, as well as the absence of policies such as the issuing of lease land, a zoning plan, and the constant change of ministers are great contributors to the present state of affairs. The public should not be negatively affected as a result of the lack of capacity. When enforcement measures aren't consistently enforced, the authority and the credibility of government is undermined.
In a recent letter of the Prime Minister to the Parliament of St. Martin regarding decolonization and liquidity assistance, I believe the Prime Minister is barking up the wrong tree. In this recent letter, the Prime Minister apprised Parliament of her most recent contact with State Secretary Knops regarding the liquidity support in the form of a third tranche. This interaction took place on November the 11th as per the Prime Minister's letter to Parliament. I was pleasantly surprised to receive this update given government's lackluster performance in keeping Parliament timely informed. However, the conclusion of the letter gives away the true reason behind this letter to Parliament. The Prime Minister had earlier publicly alluded to this meeting she had with the State Secretary, but she did not express the concerns of the Dutch government. These concerns, however, the Prime Minister did relay to the Parliament in her letter to Parliament. And the paragraph in question to Parliament reads, and I quote, "There has been much hesitation on the part of the Netherlands pertaining to how serious the negotiations are on our side because of statements made on the floor of Parliament about the decolonization process." And the Prime Minister continued in her letter to Parliament, "However, I am assured that the progress made in the last two technical meetings has done much to ease their fears. That being said, it is important for all parties to be mindful of the aforementioned as we negotiate the best possible outcome in the interest of the people of St. Martin. This is a quote from the letter of the Prime Minister to the Parliament. This admonishment, as I call it, was surprising given government's own role in the decolonization talks. And so I had to remind the Prime Minister of her letter to Parliament, another one that is, dated October 6th, in response to MP Heiliger Martin's questions on the topic of decolonization. In that letter, the Prime Minister informed Parliament, after an analysis of decolonization, that, and again I want to quote directly, based on the above, this is the Prime Minister, I am of the opinion that finalizing the decolonization can and should be started as soon as possible. The Prime Minister continued in her letter to Parliament. It will both benefit the international reputation of the Kingdom of the Netherlands and therefore St. Martin and its sister islands, and allow for the sustainable social economic development and prosperity of the people of St. Martin. The Prime Minister continued in her letter, seeing the initiatives by MP Heiliger Martin, I therefore look forward to Parliament's follow-up and support to the Council of Ministers with this process.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
In the Netherlands, most people receive social protection. Who are those persons in the Netherlands targeted by the Red Cross? They are persons who have lost their jobs in sectors such as construction, hospitality, and cleaning, and who have all been laid off during lockdown, labor migrants, and people who do not have papers, so they aren't eligible for ordinary support. Legal residents can apply for ordinary social protection at each municipality, such as for an unemployment benefit, which is 70% of their last wage or salary, or for a social allowance. The maximum social allowance in the Netherlands is 1,000 euros, and this is equivalent to 2,035 Antillian guilders. Also here in St. Martin, only legal Dutch residents or persons from foreign nationality with permanent residency papers can apply for social protection. But the government of St. Martin only provides a maximum social allowance of 1,150 guilders a month, which is 900 guilders less than the maximum social allowance in the Netherlands. Also, the unemployment benefit government of St. Martin is providing in the SSRP, so the St. Martin Support Relief Program, via the St. Martin Development Fund to sole proprietors, taxi drivers, vendors, etc., who apply and qualify for this assistance is 1,150 guilders a month. But with the cost of living in St. Martin much higher than in the Netherlands, why isn't the social security at least equivalent to the 1,000 euros maximum amount in the Netherlands? Actually, the amount needed not to be in poverty in St. Martin should be much higher. A household in St. Martin needs an average of 1,150 guilders per week, which is almost 5,000 guilders a month, not to be in poverty.
You see, I did not want to accept said land because I did not want to feel obligated to advise positively on the issuance of land. But if you don't join them, you are against them. But not today, not with the Party for Progress in Parliament. I also want to close off by strictly contradicting a blatant lie that was put forward on the floor of Parliament today by my colleague MP Emmanuel regarding land that is adjacent to land owned by my father. I do not know if the MP, as the former Minister of Romy, knows, or maybe he was informed, but that piece of land that was mentioned...
Madam Chair Lady, I haven't called no one's name on the floor of Parliament. Madam Chair Lady, thank you.
Yes, but there was a picture shown, and I recognize the area. And if we are looking at the facts, you can check with Cadastre to see if I am not stating facts or not.
MP Peterson, I will please ask you to please refrain from calling any names. Thank you.
My apologies, Madam Chair. So then, as I was saying, I want to close off by strictly contradicting a blatant lie that was put forward today on the floor of Parliament by a colleague of mine regarding land that is adjacent to land owned by my father. I do not know if the MP or a former Minister of Romy was misinformed, but that piece of land does not even have a notarized decree at all. And there was also at no point in time a request to the Department of Domain Affairs under my tenure to have anything renewed for that piece of land. So please, if you're going to tell fantasy stories, at least try to make it factual or at least believable. Be aware of the misinformation to justify wrongdoings in the present, people of St. Martin, because this is the order of the day. This is what we see today. This is the order of the day. But as I said, and I will say it again, wrongs in the past do not justify wrongs in the present or the future, because if that was the case, we would never move forward. The people of this country deserve to be represented and not be victim to the political agendas of politicians. We deserve better, and soon we will be better.
But if you say something and you advise a minister one way, you cannot dance around the facts of what you did. Madam Chair, a mention was made about reading comprehension, and the minutes of this meeting with Alegria was brought up. And I wasn't even going to look at it, but if someone is going to question the reading comprehension ability of members of Parliament, then you know what, I'm going to double check and go to the dictionary and find out what is the definition of the word agreed. Make sure that my reading comprehension is good, because it says in the definition, Webster's, discussed or negotiated and then accepted by all parties. That's the definition of agreed, right? So if you have a department head that says, would like to discuss pricing of long lease for water rights, what does Alegria propose? Not, first of all, which, Minister, that find this is strange. Alegria propose? That's how we do business in this country? We have an investor coming here, we asking them what we propose. We're not setting the price of our country, but water under the bridge. Alegria says gliding scale, which we spoke about already, unbelievable that this is even a thing, 2 guilders to 8 guilders. And the response from the department head is agreed. There's no more reading comprehension beyond that. That would be like me as a tourism director at the time. I remember we were negotiating with JetBlue to open the new Fort Lauderdale route. And I said at the time, with the slots, one of the advice I had to give was based on the slot times, the frequency, and so on. And on behalf of the minister, which is the job of the civil servant, I said, okay, 5 times a week from Fort Lauderdale, 3 p.m. Arrival, 4 p.m. departure, agreed. It's pretty clear that I was in agreement with those slot times and arrival times. So it's no point in dancing around the facts that a lot is being done, and I keep saying, I said it yesterday, I say it again, it is a small portion of civil servants that sometimes overstep their bounds, and this is an example of it.
The innovative Banco Matico contactless smart card. Your Banco Matico smart card is now equipped with a contactless feature for payments, so get ready to tap and go. Contactless payments are fast, easy, secure, and accepted worldwide at all Maestro-enabled contactless terminals. Tap for transactions equivalent to or less than 100 NAF, or the US dollar equivalent. You will receive notifications via email anytime you tap. Tap, tap, and pay fast with WIB. For more information, visit our website at wib-bank.net. Tap and go with your partner in progress.
How are you doing this morning? Good. So, Rebecca, thank you for coming. I work as a psychologist at the Mental Health Foundation. I mainly see children and adolescents, but I also see adults. So whenever there's a crowd, that's when you're starting to feel
nervous.
Okay.
Nauseous.
Okay. It is kind of like your body. We are so used to taking care of our body. If we have a little ache in our foot, we know to rest it. We know, okay, I might have walked too much, so I need to rest. Now, of course, that can be just an ache in my foot, but I can also break my leg. Now, for breaking my leg, I would have to go to the doctor. So that kind of goes the same for mental health illnesses. So you can come in for something little as, I'm really stressed out lately. What would you need? A little bit of rest. But someone can also come in with way more difficulties. We're not here to judge right or wrong, good or bad. Is it helpful for you? Fine. Is it not helpful for you? Okay, then let's see what we can do about it. But not a wrong nor right, absolutely not. It's a magnifying glass without judgment.
Well, there's still a lot of stigma on the island, unfortunately. It's not a topic that people easily talk about, and that's a shame. They're afraid that they get judged, and there is still quite a bit of judgment. I mean, often we hear, don't go to that crazy house. Once you go in, you never go back. And it's just not true, We treat a lot of patients here, and a lot of them, we get back on their feet.
Our goal at the Mental Health Foundation is for us to help you improve your life, for you to live a better, happier, and fuller life.
The way that we provide service has definitely changed over the last year. Like you mentioned in your intro, the pandemic forced us to do the changes even faster. One of the biggest changes is actually the fact that clients now no longer come to the building. We don't host clients in the building anymore. Persons don't need to come in for their doctor control. They don't need to come in to retrieve their cards or to do any interviews. So that, I would say, is one of the major changes. And compared to about 8 years ago, when persons actually would stand in long lines waiting to get in without an appointment, trying to see, how fast they can get service, waiting there for long hours, having minimal access to us or only certain means of access. All those things have changed greatly in that we have many different avenues for clients to contact us now. We have Facebook, telephone, email. Persons no longer have to come to the building in the hopes of taking a number and being served at a particular point. So definitely some big changes within the past years.
Mrs. Hundervangers Royer, talk to us about the attestatie de vida, because you're saying that you're not accepting anyone to go to the office anymore, but we still need to submit one every 6 months, I believe it is. Talk to us about how that will work now.
Okay, so SZB no longer provides that service, and for persons that live on the island but need to provide the attestatie de vida or life certificate to a pension institute abroad, they can go to the census office, and at the census office they can request that and then send it to their institution abroad.
One of the first things the association wants to do is hold workshops. Yes. How often will you be holding the workshops, and what type of workshops are you talking about?
We plan to hold workshops at least once a month. And so the very first workshop is going to be financial planning and management, especially during this time in COVID. It's so important to, and for both alumni and students to understand budgeting, understand maybe creating multiple streams of income, because it's so difficult now. So financial planning is one of the first workshops that we're going to have. We're going to have resume writing and interviewing skills, a number of different workshops. Okay. Yeah, that should.
When we talk about mentorship program, talk to us about how you're planning to incorporate mentorship and who are you planning on mentoring?
Okay, so the main mentoring program will be for students who would want mentoring, first of all, or that may be directed by the school counselor to the program. So it's basically a big brother, big sister program, right? Partnering alumni with current students, just to encourage them, to help them, whether it's with homework or just helping them to deal with life, There's a lot of students, and most of us know persons who grew up probably in single-parent homes that maybe lack fathers. So the idea is that we really create an atmosphere that the students can trust us, their mentors, and that we can help them to get through high school and honestly the rest of their lives, yeah.